Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Lifestyle with Chris. If you are new here, I am Chris. Yeah, I'm an international student here in Canada from Trinidad and Tobago, and I am here to share my journey with you guys, my struggles, my joy, my pains, my everything. I'll be keeping it real as possible, not pulling nothing back, so you can let it raw. All right. So if you are embarking on a journey here in Canada, if you want to come here as an international student, then you need to subscribe to this channel. Give me a thumbs up. Give this video a thumbs up, please, because when you like the video, when you give it a thumbs up, it will push the video to other people so that they can see it, right? And you don't want to keep this a secret, right? So please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and also click on that notification bell so that you won't miss my other upcoming videos. All right, so please, today we are going to be talking about the monthly expenses that you will incur as an international student, right? So I think this is a very important topic, so I decided to do it. So let's get right into the video. Just keep watching. Alright guys, so I'm going to be talking about the rents, right? Because you have to cover your head. That's the first thing you need to do when you get to Canada. Canada is to ensure that you cover your head, right? So rent will all be dependent on your location, right? Right, in my case, I'm in Ontario and I'm in London. So, and it all depends on which part of London as well, right? So I am in an area where rent is a bit expensive, right? A nice area, nice area. And also it also depends on the type of accommodation you are going to be living in, right? For example, as I said, I talked about in my video, I did a video on doing my room tour, and if you have not watched that video, you need to watch it. Check somewhere up here, somewhere up there, right? A room tour. And in a room you may pay between $450 to $1,000, right? It is inclusive of utilities and stuff like that. Also, you might get an apartment for around $1,200, $1,500 if you're renting a one bedroom. It all depends on the number of rooms. It depends on as I said, everything depends on location, right? That is what I've observed. It all depends on location, right? In addition to that, when you're renting a room, then you have to share common spaces like the kitchen, like the laundry area. Sometimes you have to share washroom area as well. In my case, I'm only sharing the kitchen and the laundry, but I have my own washroom area, right? So I'm paying $900 for this, right? It's inclusive of hydro and internet, so I don't have any extra utilities to pay, which is reasonable, right? Which is reasonable. So I want you to take note of these things because it would all be dependent on what you can afford. You don't want to come here and when you're ready because you get kicked out, you understand? Right? So so this is something that you have to consider. What is your budget for rent and if you can afford it on a monthly basis, okay? And also it will be good, as I think I mentioned that in my room tour video, where if you come in here and you know people, what you can do is pool together, rent a big house and split the rent. It's going to save a lot of money, especially if you're coming here as a single person. Why waste rent for a one bedroom for yourself, right? Rent a room. And I'm really gonna encourage you guys to do that. I'm here with my daughter and I am renting a room, okay, until my children comes up. Maybe I'll do something better, or when I could afford to do better, I'll just go rent an apartment or something, which is gonna be happening very soon though. All right, so it all depends on what your budget is, right? So yeah, I pay $900. So let's get into the other points. I'm gonna try to talk a little slower because my daughter tell me that I'm talking too fast, and I'm trying not to talk fast, you understand? So I'm trying to. All right, so we're gonna talk about the mobile data plan. Mobile data plan. I got a data plan from Lucky, and I'm paying $25 plus tax, which is around 30 something dollars. And for both of us, I'm paying like around 60 something dollars, right? Per month. It comes with 500 megabytes of 3G speeds. I get free text, both national in Canada, within Canada, and international as well. But I don't really like it. I don't like it up too much because it's not convenient for me, especially when I'm out. I don't get a strong connection, so I'm not gonna recommend that, right? It have others like Chatterbox, I think, Rogers, Bell. It have real other better ones than the one I have, so I'm not gonna encourage you to do that, right? So this is something that you have to keep every month. You can't do without it. If you want to make calls and things, yeah, you can't do without it, right? Right, so yes, so the next one is food. Food, your groceries. Grocery really depends on how you eat, right? So my monthly thing mightn't be yours, right? I will say I spend roughly $400. It could be more than that, mind you. It could be more than that because I have a whale in the house and she just eats a lot, right? So I try as much as possible not to eat out, but sometimes I get so overwhelmed. I just need to treat myself, and on a Friday that is when I will most likely buy food, right? But it's not like it's every day. I try to cook my own meals because it is economical, right? It is. When you're living on a budget, you have to be mindful, right? So I try to cook as much as possible. I prepare lunch for my daughter to go to school. Most of the times it would be a sandwich, and when she gets home she will get a heavier meal. Okay, yeah, so around $400. And please take notes of the coupons. You need it. Trust me, you need it. Well, if you're rich and thing, well, that wouldn't matter, right? But somebody like me who lives in a budget, it does matter. It does. All right, so don't eat out much. I mean, you know, sometimes you only want to go with your friends and thing on a weekend. Nothing wrong with that, but be mindful. Right? The next thing I'm going to be talking about is transportation. Now, when I just came here, I used to pay like $3 for well, when I go to the bus, I'll put in my $3. I get a little chit. It's called a transfer, and it's valid for 90 minutes, right? So you can use that to go on to another bus, all right, to take you somewhere else. So you used to pay $3 for that. And because now I purchased my school, what do they call it, a card that allows me to travel on the bus, I paid around $179, and that's for the entire year, which is a lifesaver. I have saved so much since I got that card, right? Because you know I work part-time. So it does come in handy, and I don't really go out per se, so my daughter doesn't really travel much. Her school is walking distance from where we are living, which is great. So yeah, that's a good thing about it. Yeah. All right, guys. So transportation is something that you have to consider, right? I don't know what school you will be attending when you get here, if you will be able to get a car like me. But yeah, and it doesn't make sense taking Uber or a taxi because it's expensive, right? It's gonna eat your money out. It's gonna eat you out. So don't even think about it. I think that Uber may come in like if you have an emergency. Yeah, a one-on thing now, one-time thing, not an everyday thing now. You don't need that. All right. So the next thing that you need to consider is insurance, right? A medical plan. Now, my school, I have a medical plan in school, so I have my insurance and stuff. But my daughter is not on the plan because they said, I think they told me because I didn't start in September, so she was not eligible to enter on my plan, which I don't know how that makes sense. But anyway, that's the people and policy, right? So last week we got sick, and I did not bring my child's Ventolin inhaler. She's an asthmatic, right? But she doesn't get attacked so often. I took it for granted and I forgot it. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, we got sick, so I said, you know what, I'm going to Walmart by the pharmacy to buy an inhaler. Well, to my surprise, the pharmacist told me I need to get a prescription. Now, back home in Trinidad, I will just go to the pharmacy, and that is only if I didn't get the inhaler by the hospital or the health center or wherever. I will go by the pharmacy and just purchase an inhaler, and that's it. But here you have to get a prescription for everything. So I was told I had to go to the doctor to obtain a prescription, and yes, I had to pay for the doctor's visit, right? So I paid around $40 to see the doctor and to get that prescription. Took back the prescription to Walmart's pharmacy, and then I don't know what was going on in my head, thinking that I was going to get the medication for free because I went to the doctor. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why I even thought that. But my bill came up to around $200. So in total, I paid around $240 in total. They asked me if I have insurance for her. No, I don't. So that was just my $200 just went into medical bills. Now, if I had insurance for her, I would have just gotten that money maybe over a week or so. But yeah, so please ensure when you come in here, make sure that you have insurance for your children. That's the next thing I'm going to do for for her. Maybe sometime this week, I'm going to organize a insurance plan. And also for me to be good, I need to increase my insurance plan. I don't think that the one that the school has is not sufficient, right? So yeah, medical in Canada is expensive. Do not even think twice, right? You gotta get covered. You gotta get insurance. So that's basically what I spend, but right. Rent, the phone bill, the food, the transportation, the medical plan, right? So I wouldn't say I spend anything monthly on transportation. So let's just focus on the three main bills that I constantly have every month, and that is my rent, my food, and my phone bill, and it all comes up around $1,366, right? Monthly. Now, the question here is your salary enough to fund your studies? Is $1,366 enough to fund your studies? Nope. No, it's not. Because on average in Ontario, your semester for one semester will be between, let's say, between 6,000 to 8,000. I don't know if any other school has exceeded 8,000, but I'll say from 6,000 up to 8,000 something, right? No, it won't be able to fund your studies, only if you're working for maybe $30 an hour. But you see, the minimum wage in Ontario is, I think it's $15, right? As an international student, you are allowed to work 20 hours per week. Now, let's say you're working for $15, right? Minimum. And you're working 20 hours. 15 by 20 is like 300, right? 300 by 4 is like 4 weeks, right? That's like 1,200, right? By the time you don't tax that, you might come up with $1,000 in your hand. Remember, you have your bills to pay, right? You have your room to pay for, you have your food to buy, and you have your phone bill to pay. So no, it's not going to be sufficient. And another thing is that sometimes there's not, although you're allowed to work 20 hours maximum, and that 20 hours is only during school. But once school goes on break, you're allowed to work unlimited hours. Anyway, I was trying to say something.
15, 20. I lost my train of thought.
Right. What I was trying to say is that although you're allowed to work 20 hours per week, sometimes you don't get all the hours. Sometimes you may just work 12 hours, 15 hours, and it all depends on who you're working for, right? So don't bank on this to pay your studies. Don't do that. Don't do that, because you're not guaranteed the number of hours. Only if you're working two jobs, and if you're working two jobs and then you could pool the hours them together, if you have the time for that, if you have that kind of commitment, and you would not flunk in your schoolwork or the school assignments, once you can balance that, be my guest. Apply for another job, but just don't make it go over the 20 hours, right? Yeah. So this is something that you need to start looking at if you're thinking about coming to Canada. Try to budget and see how minimum, how low you can keep it as low as possible, right? Consider renting a room. That is the number one thing you need to do. Consider renting a room. Now if you could pay the rent, by all means, right ahead, because I know a lot of people, they want their space, you know, they like living with people. I understand all of that, but if you could afford it, by all means do that. But if you're trying to save and trying to work on a budget, then you should consider renting a room, right? So these are the expenses that I incur, and these are the expenses that you will incur as well. So please take all of these things into consideration and try to work on that. All right, guys, so yeah, this is the end of my video. Thank you all so much for watching. Please, if you have not liked the video, like it now. As I said before, it's gonna help the video to be pushed out to other viewers so that they can see this content, right? And we don't want to keep it a secret. We want people to be encouraged. We want people to see the truth about coming to Canada as an international student and surviving it. All right, so guys, thank you so much again, and I hope that you have a great day, and see you in my next video.